Today we're diving into a hot topic, managing your monthly expenses, and I have a whole list for you on some of the most common monthly expenses to include in your budget, so let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Justine. I'm a personal finance educator and enthusiast, and honestly I love budgets. I love budgets, and I love picking apart exactly what are those common budget categories that every good budget has so that we're accounting for everything happening in our lives. So let's hop into the list. First is housing or rent. This is going to vary depending on where you live and whether or not you rent or you own your home. Regardless if you rent or own, aim to have that payment, that monthly payment, between 25 to 35%. Those who are living in high cost of living areas are going to be on the higher percentage range of 35%, and those living in lower cost of areas will be able to keep that payment on the lower end of the percentage spectrum. Number two is transportation. This is a common expense, whether you own a car or you use public transport. If you own a car, don't forget to factor in things like if you have an existing car payment, car insurance, repairs, maintenance, and registration fees. Number three is food and groceries. This is a huge expense. We all know about foodflation, right? It's just only gone up and up over the past few years. So you want to make sure that you are accounting for not just groceries inside of your budget, but also takeout, restaurants, coffee shops. Anytime that you're eating out needs to be factored inside of that budget. Number four are utilities. So things like heat and AC, gas, electricity, water, and your internet package. Also, number five is cell phone. Data plans nowadays are costing between $100 to $200 per month for a family plan. In my mind, that is just so much money. You could actually bump that expense down to something more budget friendly, like using something like Mint Mobile, which is what I personally use. It costs, even on the unlimited data plan, is $30 a month. It's a way for you to reduce that expense for your cell phone. Number six is childcare and school costs. This is such a big expense for a lot of people, myself included. If you are wanting to take a look at childcare costs, especially if you're family planning and you don't have children yet, but you're thinking about it, think about the differences between an at-home nanny versus taking your child to a childcare center or a daycare. This expense personally costs me $2,000 a month for full-time daycare living in Los Angeles. A huge expense. It's a huge expense. And if you're family planning, you'll want to be aware of that by checking out your local daycare centers, childcare centers, and taking a look online at what an average nanny is paid per hour in your city. Number seven is insurance. Think about all the different insurance types that you would be paying for out of pocket, including things like car insurance, perhaps it's health insurance, pet, life, homeowners, and rent insurance. There's a lot of different types of insurance policies out there, so you want to make sure that you have that included as part of your budget. Number eight is clothing and personal upkeep. So the average US household spends $162 per month in this category, according to the US Department of Labor. Now this is going to vary widely depending on how much you like to spend in this particular category, and then also how often you're spending in this category. You'll also want to consider personal grooming, getting your hair cut, guys getting their beards trimmed. Also think about dry cleaning services. All of that would be included in this expense. Number nine is pet food and care. We love our animals, we love our pets, and you'll want to make sure that you're factoring in the cost of their pet food. You'll want to factor in their grooming or vet visits, or any time that you need to board them while you're on vacation. Any of those little things that kind of add up over time. I had a betta fish for the longest time, and then learning even more about the upkeep of just fish in general. It's like, oh, I didn't think about getting a water heater or live plants versus plastic, and all of these different components that go into maintaining your pet and making sure that they have a happy life. Make sure you're including that inside of your budget. Number 10 are monthly memberships and subscriptions. Much of this is automated. You know, you get on that recurring billing cycle, but you can actually connect your biller inside of the Simplifi budgeting app so that if you have any discrepancies, you can quickly identify it from month to month. Number 11 is entertainment. So the key to any really well-written and consistent budget that you can stick with month over month is making room for the fun stuff. You absolutely have to make room for all of the things that you enjoy doing, and this can widely range on your hobbies and what you like to do. Somebody who loves to go scuba diving might have a higher entertainment budget than somebody who really enjoys to surf and just has the one-time purchase of a wetsuit and a surfboard. Number 12, travel expenses. Think about things like weekend getaways, traveling to go see family, any kind of trips, plane tickets, hotel stays, rental car costs, all of those things you want to account for inside of your budget. Now, if you're planning a longer trip, maybe it's a week-long getaway or an international trip, consider making a separate budget for that particular trip and then saving up for it ahead of time. Number 13, student loans. The average student loan borrower owes $28,950 in student loan debt. And if this is you, you have student loans, you'll want to add this inside of your budget. Likewise for number 14, which are credit cards and credit card debt. Now, the average American carries a credit card debt balance of over $6,000. If you carry credit card debt and you're carrying a balance, you'll definitely want to make sure you add this to your budget so you can pay it off as quickly as possible. Number 15 is retirement. You may choose to contribute after-tax dollars to your retirement. Think about things like a Roth IRA contribution, or you want to contribute to a taxable brokerage account. That can also be a common expense that you add as part of your budget. Number 16, and what I would consider essential, is an emergency fund. Unexpected expenses pop up and you want to make sure that you have the cash on hand and it's accessible for you, and you can include that as part of a budgeted item inside of your monthly plan so that you're always prepared for the unexpected. Number 17 are large purchases. Oftentimes people overlook the idea of making a large purchase and having it as part of their budget so that they can save for it over time. Oftentimes we'll come up with the idea of, oh, we need a new couch and let's go out to the furniture store and go ahead and pick that up right now. We didn't budget for it. So having a budget and a plan in place for large purchases, not just for furniture, but for things like a replacement car. If you're a car owner, you know cars don't last forever. So why not think ahead and plan for those large purchases by creating a savings goal, building in that monthly savings contribution inside of your budget so that you know that you are planning and you're building up that savings over time. I've definitely shared these experiences with other friends, and I've had a friend who started building up a monthly savings contribution for moving expenses because she knew she was going to move at the end of the year. Smart idea to save up for those large purchases. It's important for you to create a budget so that you can recognize those spending patterns and come up with a spending plan that's going to feed into your financial goals. Also, you'll want to set up those automatic payments for things like bills and subscriptions so that you can avoid any late fees. I mean, I'd call that a win-win. And speaking of automation, don't forget to leverage the power of technology at your fingertips so that you know exactly how much you're spending on things and how much money is going towards your savings goals. The Quicken Simplifi budgeting app can help you do just that and more. You can automate things. You can set reminders for subscriptions and bills. See what bills are upcoming. See what paychecks are upcoming. It's been such a handy tool for me to have in my back pocket. If you want to check out that budgeting app, links are included below. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more financial tips and tricks, and we'll catch you in the next one.